Greetings to you out there and in here and everywhere. I'm your host, Majesty, and this is another session of Majesty's music lesson. Hope you're feeling irie and everything is evolving in a positive manner, regardless of things that might seem to go a little haywire. As you know, GT is under that haywire business a lot. Recently changed government after more than 20 years. So I guess certain things are expected. But we have to solve the problem because our future, the future generations, future depends on it. Now, I don't know what regard people who are in these positions of parliament, etc., and other positions of authority in the system which runs the country. I don't know how much respect they gave on to what I have been telling them. For I have been on here, even before the government change, I have been on here in the second advent of Majesty's music lesson, the first being from 23rd of July 2003 to 2nd of February 2007. And then I came again 2014, 2nd of February, which was exactly 7 years to the day that I came off. I left 2nd of February 2007. I left them in Black History Month, which is in February, and I returned and picked them up in the beginning of Black History Month, exactly 7 years to the day, because it was 2nd of February again, a Sunday again, the first Sunday in the month of February, the first Sunday in Black History Month. And that was before 2015 election. 2nd of February 2014 was even before prorogation. So the program has seen prorogation right through the election, right through the change of government. And I had been advising from that time, before even there was prorogation, and before there was election, and before the government change. And I remember my second program, the first was on the 2nd of February, and the second was 14 days later, on the 16th of February. And I remember specifically that program mentioning about father figure for the black nation, and explaining that this word father figure comes from, well, duplicating what the father who created everything, which is what the people call the creator, the father of creation. It is duplicating his stand of being responsible for everything on the earth, including our food and everything else, and our knowledge and wisdom and everything else, and the environment and everything else. So I spoke that second program on the father figure, because the black nation has no father figure. I said that since Burnham, we have no father figure in Guyana, because he had taken responsibility for not just the African nation, but for the whole nation through his programs, the main parts of which were free education from Northeast University, free hospitalization, land to the tiller at very dirt cheap lease rates, you know, and also for organizing the co-op systems, which were supposed to be the main vehicle to take the people out of poverty and to unite the people. Now, like I said, now it's 30 years after Burnham died. Well, we're going into 31 because he died in 1985. And these things which he called the destiny to mold have not been molded. As a matter of fact, we unmolded everything because persons thought they were brighter than he was. But I want to remind them that wisdom cometh from the Almighty, no one else. Education cometh from universities, but superior intelligence, which is wisdom, cometh from the Almighty alone. Now, here we are again with a whole host of problems. Like I said, I hope things are evolving in a positive manner, regardless of things going haywire. Now, the previous program that I had, when I was closing off, I mentioned about the situation in Guyana where race is concerned. Now, let me get back to that. Because I think, first of all, let me make sure I get this out of the way. Well, you know, because like I said, the 23rd of July 2003 is when I started. Right now, it is October, and the 2nd of November is the next most important celebration of the Ethiopian kingship of His Imperial Majesty. 2nd November is the date that he was crowned. In 1930, so we are speaking about the 86th anniversary of the crowning of His Imperial Majesty, which took place on the 2nd of November 1930 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, whence he was crowned as King of Kings, Lord of Lords, conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, and took on the title Haile Selassie, which is Might of the Trinity. And it's all in the Ethiopian Bible and in the history of Ethiopia, being descendants of Solomon and Sheba, and being part and parcel of the Solomonic line. And this is the history of Ethiopia. Now, I want to get that out to inform all and sundry that the House of Naibingi will be celebrating the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, the 86th anniversary of the coronation of His Imperial Majesty, at the Wizrock Tabernacle at Wizrock, Linden, from the 1st of November for 7 lights, which is the amount of lights that we will have that celebration. From the 1st, right? The 2nd is the main night, and then we will seal off on the 8th, if I have my calendar correct. I don't have my flyer with me here, but you should be seeing a flyer from early in this new week here. So look out for it and put it in your calendar. That the the grand coronation of His Imperial Majesty will be in Linden, Rizrock from the 1st of November. I just want to get that out to make sure I don't lose track of it. Now, coming again to the point I was making, that I was dealing with the racist problem in the country. Now, before I go directly into that, I want to see something here. The country has a problem. The psychology of the country is out of order. We in Guyana need to be taught group psychology. Because what has happened is that we were educated into individualism. And this is why everyone does their own thing and there is no unity. I have realized now that they need to be taught group psychology. Because all over Guyana, in government, in parliament, all over, you have people who, acting in an individual manner, but controlling a job that calls for group ideology, group psychology. And they handle this job in an individualistic way, even an egotistical way. In other words, doing their own thing. So I realize now that the first thing the government should have done, which I would have thought that everyone was prepared for the changeover, or they were ready if the changeover happened, that they would have been ready. But obviously that's not the case, which I did see that Mr. Granger inherited an old car. An old car that wasn't in use, parked up. And so now we have every part, or many parts, moving their own individual way. A door falling off it. That's why I told him it's an old car. A new car, when you jump in, you can drive for about the next 5 years. All you got to do is the basic servicing, where you wouldn't get problems, because it's a new car. If you're getting lots of problems because it's an old car, and I knew that from beginning, because I know lots of the people who are around for a long time. Some of them were in government, in positions. So they became old cars because they didn't keep their meditation up. You see, it's not your age makes you old, you know. It's your thinking. As a man thinketh, so is he. If you think like an old person, that's what you're going to be. There are some young people who think like old people. So that's why they tell you age is just a number. If you think young, youthful, that's what you're going to be. So the government need people in there who are thinking youthful. I'm not speaking age, who are thinking and acting youthful. Because that's what the job called for. Mr. Burnham used to ride down into the back dam on his horse, crossing trenches and etc. And then he had self-help going on, where I told people, I said, Burnham in the ministry used to go and weed and all them things, you know. And the man tell me, I saw Burnham in the trench. You saw you weeding, I saw you in the trench. So, the destiny cannot be molded by lazy people or people who think old. So, the government needs to reorient. So I guess this is why I never went to any of these things because I used to be playing football. I never went into the National Service. I never even went into the Queen's College Cadets because I was playing football. That was my main thing. So afternoon while they doing cadets, that's the time I had to be playing football. So my friends who were there, I'd watch them a little bit before my football start because it was right up maybe 4 o'clock, right after coming to school. The cadets would start marching, you know, before even I started my football. So I would watch them for 10 minutes, and then I gone out on the field. So, and I was never in no other institution. So I guess this is why Burnham had like Coffee Ideological Institute. And we speak about these places like China, and they try to say well, we call it communists, they're brainwashing people and all that. But people have to be oriented. If you go to certain institutions or certain jobs, whatever, they have to, if it calls to that, they have to take you an orientation course to familiarize you with what is the program. And this is what needs to happen all over in Guyana. People are operating on individual, but yet they run in a group program because government is a group program. And most of them, unless they have it natural, they don't even realize that it's group they're dealing with. They study, well, I got a job. I earned this job. No, you ain't earned the job. The job was given to you because I certainly got other people with that qualification. But you were chosen. It's not that you were special more than everyone else, unless you could prove that. You were given a job because there's only one job for that position or whatever. You were given a job, but it's a job that deals with the group, with the country, with the people. So certain people are unfitted to these governmental jobs. They gotta go and do their own thing, have their own business, have their own whatever, individual job, maybe drive taxi, get a own bus or something or whatever. But these people can't be in governmental jobs, handling their people's business when they're thinking like individuals. So the country needs to be reoriented in group psychology because the individual psychology is making it in government, which dealing with the people's business. And group psychology, it starts from the president right down. Everyone has to have that. And that's the error with a person like Mr. Hyde. He didn't think of the group when he made his decisions, dealing with the IMF. That's why African people had to run into fire. When he brought all them changes, movement control, currency control, all the things to protect the people from the individual capitalist world's hegemony on the economy of the world, got there by the barrel of the gun, under slavery and colonialism. And these facts need to be the facts that run the world, not the lies that have been brought by the same people. I said before, and that is why my earlier programs in 2003, when so much things were going wrong, bodies were falling, I was using the word idiot. Because, remember, this is after Burnham. This is 2001 now. Or after 2001 election. So, 66, that is more than 34, that's 35 years after we independent. Didn't we learn anything? That's why I started calling people idiot. Because an idiot is someone who does not learn or refuses to learn. So, the question is, have we learned anything up to now, 50 years after independence? Have we learned now if Burnham is making sense or not? Can we come to conclusions like how I do? That I could come and explain it. So, group ideology is what needs to be taught to this country again. Unfortunately, when we started with the Westminster Duppy party system, which we had to promote from the beginning in order to contest and challenge the Europeans for independence. But, as you see, all it does is create division. That's not group psychology. That is clique psychology. One people, one nation, one destiny is real group psychology. Nation is group psychology. Now, anyone who don't understand that, that's where the word idiot come in, because that means you're not learning. Everything is plain to see, you know. That's why I read Revelation 10 verse 7. With the song of the seventh angel, the mystery of the Almighty will be finished. All mysteries is mystery of the Almighty. And they ain't got no more mystery. I don't see no more mystery. I know who is who and what is what. And I've been saying that from since that time in 2003. Even before. Because I used to be on before the 2001 election. And after. And since then I said there's no mystery. Don't you know what's capitalism? Don't you know what's socialism? Don't you know what's co-ops? Don't you know what is what? Don't you know what is righteousness? Don't you know what is wickedness? What the Europeans dealt with is pure evil. Pure evil. I gotta put the word pure. Evil. Now, and the thing is, if you're not wise, you won't know that it continues to this day. And is a possibility because of what they have been acquiring in arms, that they intend to put black people, a matter of fact, the whole world in slavery. If you're not capable of defending yourself, of course. So, Africans who don't learn group psychology, they will perish along the way. Because Bob Marley told you, collective security for surety. Now, so I got to tell Africans that Farrakhan's army is our army. Mugabe's army is our army. Like I told you before, those of us who are intelligent are family and know it. Those of us who are intelligent know that we are family. That's why I show you Burnham and Farrakhan shaking hands from since in the earliest days. It either had to be just before we got independence or just after. But that's the young Burnham and the young Farrakhan. It even looks before, probably when he went up there to the independence conference. Because that's a very young Burnham and a very young Farrakhan. So, when you're wise, you observe and you learn. Because there ain't no joke going on the earth nowhere. People could try to make it a jokey scene. And that's why I thank the Father I was never given a jokey brain. Because seriousness is the foundation of the Father. After the Almighty, the next word is seriousness. Then happiness. Seriousness comes before happiness. So you could be happy, and when you think it's peace and safety, a sudden destruction. So you need to be serious all the time, and then you will be happy. Because you will ensure that you're in a peaceful place and you are secure. So, Guyana needs to be taught again, because this is what co-ops was, and self-help. All these things are group ideology. We are not a capitalist society. We have been programmed to be a capitalist society. And what that entails most of the people being in poverty and being sucked out. That's all. Because the program set by the IMF and the World Bank is for specifically that purpose. If the president does not control the situation. So regardless of what they were telling Burnham had price control, rent control, currency control. Because Guyana is not America. Guyana is not the place for capitalist investors to rule and the rest of people in poverty. That is not what Guyana Constitution was made for and says. So, the Constitution has been violated from since Burnham died. When changes are made not in the interest of the people, who are the true owners of this country. The preamble of the Constitution even telling you how this came about. So the people in Parliament need to have dictionaries so they can understand words, because apparently they don't. Now, Burnham used to use a word that, let us not be peons of the Europeans. Peons. You know, he's got these fancy words that you never heard before, but it's right there in the dictionary. That's a person who is a slave, or thinking as a slave, or operating as a slave. So, the group ideology. Now, we have a race problem, and I said before that Indians should not be bad in the coalition. They should be bad in the PPP. Asking them, those who don't have, how come after 23 years they are poor? Because they voted for them and they did look after some people. But they had no plan for all of them, obviously. So now, you can't be calling for them to be given another 23 years. No account was given onto what happened. No planning come out of 23 years for y'all. For all y'all. This is what we went through with Mr. Hyde. There was a plan, and he got rid of the plan. supported around by people who don't understand. That's why I say it plain to the PNCR that they failed. PNCR failed black people after, because you know the voting is racial. So I'm dealing with the race problem. But everyone has to acknowledge and take responsibility of the outcome after they vote race, how it end up. When their candidates get in and control the government for years. PNC have to take responsibility for what Mr. Hyde did. They try to defend it, but it's indefensible. And you see the future? It tells. No one can control anything. And this is the problem why the earth got all these problems. Because people keep trying to control the Almighty's earth. And the Almighty's earth makes certain rules. Every action is equal and opposite reaction. It's called physics. It is the action of physical properties of the earth. Physics. So, as a man thinketh, so is he. If you think wrong, you will be wrong. Ain't no question about it. It's not what I say. Is that how it is? So, after 50 years, you're supposed to learn. I didn't need 50 years to learn none of them things. I was learning it while I was in school. Yeah. Watching on at the program and understanding. Well, you see, that's why in our school there, where English concerned, you had to have your dictionary in every single English class. To not have your dictionary, if the teacher only asks, you will be put out of the class. It is not accepted. That is how serious our English teacher was, Mr. Drapal. Yep, I remember that. So I never took my dictionary out of my bag. Don't matter it's heavy, I never took it out. Yeah, I left it in there for all the time. Yep. So you have to ask them, are they unaccountable? Why there is no plan or there was no plan? So the same thing for Africans now. They should learn from what happened with Mr. Hyde. You have to have a plan. And I saw here that I noticed on a program where they were talking about, I think it was Conservation International and the Amerindian communities collaborating on a sustainable development agreement framework. At least a framework. Well, that would lead to a plan. And they said that many ideas were received, but most were poorly constructed and not sustainable. Because, of course, whatever the ideas have to be sustainable. Which shows that this is what they're saying, which shows that the communities never got together and communicated. So I had to say, this sounds the same exactly like the black failure. Yeah. Get together, unity. That's what I'm saying. The whole country needs to be taught group psychology. You can't operate in an individualistic manner and an egotistical manner, and you're dealing with collective program. So there's wrong all around. The African groups. The African groups ain't got collective, maybe a couple. But they ain't got collective because the African nation doesn't have a group ideology at these times. From since I came back, I saw that. It's individuals running the group ideology say they're dealing with African problems and development. They got to get reoriented. They need to be taught group psychology. You can't mix it. It don't work. One is one and the other one is something else. Me, myself, and I don't work, or my personal program don't work with group ideology. That's why they run into problems with me. So they say the Amerindians never got together. You could see, it shows that they didn't get together, right? That's why they end up with these ideas, a lot of ideas, but like it's just individual people, wherever they think, they didn't consult, see if this could work or whatever. So the Africans got the same problems. Now we're into the international decade, and it shows since the international year. Well, it's showing all the time since I came, and this is why we're in a poor state. So the whole of Guyana got to be taught group psychology back again to bring Guyana back to sanity and humility. Because group psychology calls for humility. Now, so that's why I want to tell Indians that that's what they gotta. They think that they're in a group. They are in a group when it comes to voting, but upon the way it comes to sharing the pie, the group thing end up like everybody else. Well, you know the Europeans don't deal with group. They only deal with group to conquer. But then, after then, when it's going to distribute, is individuals and families. And they train us in that ideology. But they certainly deal with group to conquer. They always have the army, and the armies, and this and that. And they do that. They finance that. When they're going to conquer, when it's going to share. So all the money in Europe ends up at the top. And that's why the world is skewed now. Now they want to control everybody else. So they build in arms and arms and arms and arms. So we got to pay attention to them. Because it's obviously they're going to be a third world war, a black and white war. Our weapon is fire. I keep telling you that. This is reality. This is not them fantasy things or people discuss in conference. This is what you see happening in the Middle East. And there was a piece of a DVD I wanted to show on Gaddafi, to show you what they did with Gaddafi. There's a long, I could take out so many pieces to show you what happened with Gaddafi. And even where Gaddafi, but I gotta select them out better next time. Where Gaddafi is speaking and telling the other Arabs, they hang Saddam. And all of us in the Arab world stood by. What about if they decide to hang us? You hear Gaddafi saying that. And I have some other pictures to show you. Tony Blair meeting him, Obama meeting him, Gordon Brown meeting him, I think, yeah. Oh, and he was telling the rest of Arabs them at this big summit, Arab summit, that Rumsfeld was one of Saddam's best friends. You making joke with those people? They be your friend right up to the day before they launch the attack. Remember, those who forget their past are bound to repeat it. That's the first teaching you're supposed to give your children. What happened in the last 500 years and what could happen again. Because they have lost control of the world economy. And this is when they act. That's why they acted in the Middle East, you know. Anytime the economy goes down, they act. Because this is how they operate. They have a one-track mind. You could want to believe yourself and fool yourself about anything. I study history and reality. Those who have eyes to see don't even gotta look. They see all the time. So, unconscious people cannot lead African people. People without focus can't lead African people. People who are not serious can't lead African people. People who are not dealing with group ideology and think it's just individual star show game, star show money game or money star show game, all the people until them going to suffer. They're going to be responsible. So, Guyana needs reorientation in group ideology. And, you know, I was on a program with a brother Philip Mohammed, who was arrested with Brother Akbar. These people are our brothers. So Mr. Jagdo is supposed to give account to us Guyanese. Mr. Philip Mohammed is a Guyanese. The other guy who was arrested, who went to take them water, he's a Guyanese. So it can be, well, no apology. No. That is total disrespect to us Africans in the country who, like I said, I was there that same night, just about 4 hours before, till up to 11 o'clock. So, it's not anything I can forget. And that's why, when I was on the program with him, we kind of run out of time, and I didn't get to read part of our Constitution, right? Which tells Article 32. As a matter of fact, it says here, Article 31, it is the duty of the state to protect the just rights and interests of citizens resident abroad. That brother is resident abroad. Mr. Akbar is American. Not him I'm talking about. I'm talking about Brother Philip Mohammed, who was the second person arrested. He resides abroad. It is the duty of the state to protect the just rights and interests of citizens resident abroad. It is the joint duty of the state, the society, and every citizen to combat and prevent crime and other violations of the law, and to take care of and protect public property. It is the duty, there's article number 33 now. It is the duty of every citizen to defend the state. Article 34. That is from 31, 32, 33, now this is 34. It is the duty of the state to enhance the cohesiveness of society by eliminating discriminatory distinction between classes, between town and country, and between mental and physical labor. Right? Article 35. The state honors and respects the diverse cultural strains which enrich the society, and will seek constantly to promote national appreciation of them at all levels, and to develop out of them a socialist national culture for Guyana. Right? So, I think the presidents really need to read this Constitution, present and past, because Guyana seems to have a very serious lack of consciousness of what's really going on. Everyone in Parliament needs to have a dictionary, because the dictionary has everything in it, even in history. It will even tell you what's a Roman holiday, to let you know how Romans operate. They wrote it there. So, once again, the House of Nyabingi will be celebrating coronation of His Imperial Majesty, the 86th coronation of His Imperial Majesty on the 2nd of November, right, at Wisrock Tabernacle Linden. See and be there. It starts from the 1st going to the 8th. 7 light suffices. Well, thanks to Safe TV, thanks to Brother Dominique, thanks to Brother Kevin. I will see you in the next 2 weeks. Guyana, stay up. The golden arrowhead is at war with all unrighteousness worldwide. Since 2003, 23rd of July, the Earth Day of His Imperial Majesty. Respect.